I'm disgusted too. I'm disgusted too. Butter, butter. All my Knicks fans feel the same way. The Fat Joe Show is back. Hey, yo, Michael Rapaport today. Well, shout out the Los Angeles Lakers. It's all about the championship. The Lakers, honorable mention, Miami Heat. They overachieved. They went all out. We deserve better. I seen your little blog. Today I got a call from Worldwide West, who is senior VP of Knicks basketball. And I'm talking to Wes, and I said, Wes, this is like an album. You either got a hit or you don't. So he tells me, Mike, that he's letting us know from jump, this is a building process. If you want a championship or you want the greatest team in the world in 1 year, it's not going to happen. So I got on a lengthy conversation with Worldwide West, but he said they're going to make great moves to bring the Knicks back to where they need to be. Let me see what my man Mike said. Bring me in here real quick, crack. Oh, God. Ah, you got to let it shit. Yo, Mike, this is in real time. This is live, Mike. What's up, Mike?
Listen to me, Joe. Listen to me. Joe, we've had this conversation. We've sat it. Me and you have sat courtside at games. You and me, on the floor, on the wood. You and me. You and fucking me, Joe. I'm going to tell you something right now, and then you could, because you're calmer. You've gotten calmer with age. You got your beard. You got your sneakers behind you. You got fucking. I mean, how much is the chain? $1 million? $500,000 on the neck?
Nah, it's a lot of money though, but it's not that.
Okay, crack. I'm still nuts. I'm gonna tell you something right now, Joe. I'm so disgusted with the Knicks. I'm so embarrassed that people like you, people like me, have spent our entire lives being disappointed year after year. And I know Worldwide West's reputation is impeccable, okay? But I'm going to tell you something, Joe. If the fucking season starts in December, if the season starts in January, I heard they're starting it. I don't care when it starts. I don't care if God himself is coaching the Knicks, Jesus Christ, Black Jesus, Abraham is running the front office. If we don't get some basketball players on the court, we're not winning shit, Joe.
But let me ask you something. Are you ever
rebuilding, Joe? Before you could grow the beard, we've been talking about rebuilding. You got the full beard now. It's an iconic beard. We're talking about rebuilding, and we don't even know when the fucking draft is going to happen, Joseph. Joseph Crack. We don't know when the fucking draft is going to happen. Now, my wife is in the room. She's going to fucking walk out. I know, but I'm going to get off. It's Joey Crack.
Hey, tell her I'm trying to sneak you some ice cream. I seen that shit. She didn't want to let you have no ice cream.
I love you. I was in such pain, Joe. The floor is yours. You can try to talk me off the building, but I'm looming around the building.
Mike, will you ever give up on the Knicks? Will you ever say, fuck the Knicks? Have you come close?
In my heart, Joe, I've already said fuck the Knicks. Like you, I love the game so much that I can enjoy the playoffs. You know, I can appreciate the greatness of LeBron and still not root for him. You know, people get confused. They're like, you're a hater. I don't root for Tom Brady. That cocksucker had me under a coffee table rooting for the Atlanta Falcons. It's part of the theater. Me and my wife got in a little conversation. I said, it's part of the theater of sports. You could appreciate someone's greatness. God bless the dead. Even Kobe, there were times when I wasn't rooting for his Lakers. That's why we watch it, because we're crazy. Just why some other people watch the red carpet and they worry about what Lady Gaga is wearing because they're crazy. It's life.
So let me tell you, Mike, I'm minding my business. I swear to God, I'm minding my business. My phone rings, It's Worldwide West.
And he says what, Joe?
I do not know why this guy is checking me out. Like,
Do you
where
know
my
it?
brain is at. I don't know why. So he calls me up, Joe, what's up? You with us? You this? Of course I'm fucking stuck. I'm with you. What are you saying, Wes? Like, and he's like, you know, we're going to make the right moves. We're going to rebuild. We're going to make this a great team. Yo, Joe. And he told me something. I'm going to tell you something, Mike. There's no bullshit. We're not throwing Wes under the bus because I love Wes. A couple of people I've talked to, like me and you are friends behind the scenes, for some weird reason, they tell me that it's not Dolan. Now, I don't
now
get it.
or in the past?
All the time. I've had people tell me, Isaiah Thomas, different people, where I talk to them, like Wes is like, yo, it ain't Dolan. Dolan's a good guy. He just hired the wrong guys. So I don't know. I don't know why he called me. He's a friend, but why was he fishing my mental? Why was he trying to gauge, you know what I'm saying, what the Knicks fans are saying or whatever the case may be?
The next time he calls you, Joe, please get me on a three-way, and I'll tell him. I'll tell him respectfully, Joe. We're in the most. You're from the boogie down Bronx. I'm from money-making Manhattan. No disrespect to any other city in the United States. No disrespect to any of the cities worldwide. You've been all over the world. They call him Worldwide West. They could call you Worldwide Joey Crack. New York City's the greatest city on earth. Madison Square Garden is still the Mecca, and I'll explain really quick why. The Boston Garden is gone. The LA Forum is gone. Chicago Stadium is gone. Madison Square Garden is the same building where Willis Reed came out of the tunnel, where Muhammad Ali fought 15 rounds against Joe Frazier, where Hulk Hogan fought Andre the Giant. It still has the history intact. We deserve better. Yes, we haven't been relevant. We deserve better. And Worldwide West and Thibodeau, we need players, Joe. And you know, Chris Paul, he did a great job this year. You know, you talk about rebuilding. You look at what it took to win the championship. Yeah. These are teams. These are
teams. You can't do this you can't just scrape something up. And not for nothing, Chris Paul's my brother. I love him and everything. But that's not rebuilding if you get somebody who's been in the league for 15 years to run a team. That's not rebuilding. And when you look at the Miami Heat, all those boys are young.
And that culture is real. You know, that culture is real.
Well, that culture is the Knick culture. They stole Pat Riley, and he brought the fucking Knick culture down there. So don't think this Miami Heat got the Knick culture.
It's so disheartening and so frustrating. So you say to me, will I leave? I've already left, Joe. I'm sick and tired at the beginning of the season looking at the roster and going, who the fuck are these guys? Every season.
That's disgusting.
Every fucking season, you're like, I never
last year was the most.
I mean,
last year was the most disgusting ever.
And it's just, I'm sick of it, man. And so when Worldwide West, that's your friend, you got to tell him what it is. Or you could put me on and I'll do it respectfully. I've spoken to Wes a couple of times. I'll do it respectfully so he could hear, like, yo, I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up out here. I'm 50. I'm starting to turn into one of these crazy old New Yorkers, Joe. I don't want to be that.
Yeah, we're looking delusional. We're looking delusional out there. We're looking really crazy out here. For real,
it's embarrassing, Joe. It's
now
embarrassing.
We're embarrassed. But we on it, my brother. I love you so much, man.
I love you too, Joe.
Stay talking for the people, man. I love you, Mike.
The biggest show. Crack, I'm out.
The big show, baby. Man, Michael's wife better let him get some motherfucking ice cream. Yo, Ruben Diaz, what's up? Clark Kent, what's up? Yeah, our Knicks. I'm going to trust Worldwide West the next 2 years, him and his partner. I'm going to trust him to turn this thing around. In the next 2 years, I'm not going to lie to you. Clark Kent. Yo, Mayor, you gotta stop. Mayor be laughing, man. Yo, these guys be killing me. But yo, it really is very stressful being a Knicks fan. Imagine you was rooting for a team that loses every fucking year. And every year they make a promise and they get a little team or two and they start acting like, you know, like something's gonna change. And when I talk confidentially, even though it's not confidential, because I'm talking to y'all, they all say to me, it's not Dolan's fault. I don't know. And I'm talking about really, really behind the scenes. Shout out to Ro Parrish on the check-in. Pristine Jewelers to the stars. Man, I got a serious guest tonight. We talking basketball, we talking Lakers, we talking Heat, we talking all sorts of things. All type of sports. Shout out to my cousin Miriam on the check-in. She works for the NBA. And so, what else you want from Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat? After the last game, Jeff Aronson, after the last game, the man could barely walk. And they gave it their all. And so, when you really do the math and you say the Miami Heat, they like, yo, they got the culture, they got the Knicks. They took Pat Riley. That's the culture. I'm not hallucinating. LeBron, my favorite player in the NBA, alive. You know, when my Knicks don't make it to the playoffs, I start bandwagoning LeBron. And it's crazy that Michael Rapaport brought up Tom Brady. I bandwagon Tom Brady too. When he goes into the playoffs, I bandwagon Tom Brady. And you see your man, Dak Prescott, pretty boy. Hey, yo, Christine, if you don't get out of here with that Brooklyn Nets shit, Brooklyn Nets is going to be an amazing. Let me just let my guest get on before I start talking all that other shit. Brooklyn, get the hell out of here with that shit. Yo, Ro, why you laughing? Yo, Ro, you being a bad boy today, bro. Yo, Ro's kicking on me. He said 5 years. I don't know that he turned it around fast. They got lucky with some young, you know, Nunn, Hero, Duncan. These are all young kids getting busy. And so, you know, there could be hope. Is R.J. Barrett going to take the Knicks? I don't think so. I mean, he's a good piece, but not. How about are the Miami Heat? See, I'm waiting for my guests. I can't keep talking to all this shit right here. You write that thought down. Guys, I'm writing notes down with a pink crayon. That's what we doing these days. You know what I'm saying? And, man, but I mean, thank the Commissioner Adam Silver, man, for making it safe, making the bubble safe. Nobody got hurt. Nobody caught COVID. And we all got the entertainment that we needed. Everybody, some people are stuck home. I mean, I don't know about this stuck home. Ladies and gentlemen, by far the flyest young lady in the game.
Hi.
Uh-oh, it's on, it's on. What's good?
Hey, I'm late. I was busy talking shit to somebody really quickly. I apologize. I have to get
Don't
my,
worry,
I have
we
to get
had
my
Matt,
jersey
Michael
right.
Rapaport. Michael Rapaport filled in for you and was talking all that Nick shit again. I'm like, yo, Mike, like you gotta stop. I'm like, yo,
It don't
Mike.
work.
I'm like, yo, Mike, you gotta stop. He keeps having tantrums. His wife wouldn't give him ice cream yesterday.
They're not. I can't even look. I feel sorry for Nick fans. At this point, it's just so hard. He did a whole damn documentary on how good it used to be. I feel sorry for him at this point. Like that's just what it is. I feel sorry for him. But
Well,
whatever.
me too. I'm a Nick fan, and I'm suffering. Every season, it's
But
become. Let me tell you, I'm not a big football fan. My brother's the greatest Dallas Cowboy fan. In solidarity, I attempt to watch the first 3 games every single season of football, and I realize, Joe, you're not really a football fan. Like, give it up. You're wasting your time, right? No, every
right.
year I do it. I don't know why I can't get into it. But even as a Knick fan, I start the season, and by second, third week, I'm already like, I'm done. I'm done with
There's no
even
point.
thinking something's gonna change. And I'm looking at the other teams and I'm just like, I'm a bandwagon LeBron fan. So whenever we don't make the playoffs, I start rooting for LeBron. It's
I have a
real
question.
talk.
I have a question.
Yes.
So every going to be okay as a Knick fan, you legitimately think y'all gonna be good.
No, I'm not one of them guys. No, I'm very realistic with everything I do in life. I'm not crazy like that. But there's big years that they faked me out when they had Stephon Marbury and Zach Randolph. And, I was when Carmelo and Stoudemire played together that one year. I was gassed. I was really like, holy shit. We almost thought we got Zion. I was Zion. Like, the last time I had hope was thinking we were going to draft Zion. That was the last type of Nick inspiration.
Okay, so I gotta tell you, I really think that the NBA did you guys wrong. That was supposed to be y'all's. You do know that, right? That was supposed to be
So
y'all.
how could they do us wrong? Like, how do you figure?
I honestly think, and people say this all the time, I'm not the only person who says this. I honestly think they don't like your owner. And I think they can't necessarily get rid of him like they got rid of Donald Sterling, right? Because he hasn't been caught doing anything per se like that. But legit, I think they don't want to be bothered. That's for real.
Man, that's some crazy shit, man, because, and then I asked, right? I asked Isaiah Thomas, I asked Wes. It started with Wes calling me today. And I was like, yo, Wes, I'm a Knicks fan. There's nothing I'm going to, yeah, but he was like fishing, like poking around at my brain to see what we're thinking as fans. And I'm like, Wes, you got to make something happen because ain't nobody else been making nothing happen in 20 years. So he was trying to tell me it takes time or whatever. But he told me, and it was in confidence, but fuck it, I'm breaking the confidence. He told me that Dolan's not a bad guy. Then I
Oh.
spoke to Isaiah Thomas before. He said he's not a bad guy. I spoke to Allen Houston. They say he's not a bad guy. So is he a bad guy or is he not a bad guy?
I think you have to talk to people who haven't worked for him or worked with him. Like I believe you got to find somebody neutral, whatever that looks like. I can tell you
Not
who everybody
somebody he's paying.
exactly, or has paid, or works with, or has given money to, or has given a second chance to. Ask. You need to ask. Grant Hill was talking about that with me one day about Dolan, just in general. Grant Hill, to me, I'm going to tell you, of all the men in the NBA who play, who work, he's got the most solid reputation. I believe just almost, not just about everything he says, because he has no He has no dog in any race. He just want to be great. He came from good. He just got a good background. I trust a lot of the things he says, and he has a really good reputation. Very few people you could hear talk about Grant. You got to have him on your show, and they talk about what he's worth. He's a solid cat.
Yeah, Grant's my man. Grant's my man, and his wife. They real good people.
Yeah.
I think I seen them actually twice. I seen them at the Duke, North Carolina game. I went out there in North Carolina, and and then I seen him at a show I had here, Super Bowl term. He came at a show of mine, him and his wife. He's beautiful people. So I'll ask him what he says. Dolan's no good.
I don't think he's going to say that. I'm going to say there's a consensus. Like it's a consensus that it could be better. It could be handled better. Some people, you listen, the Lakers just won this chip and you saw what happened. They were 6 years ago, they was fighting. It was a family fight. Jeannie had to steal the Lakers from her brother, like in public. Do you remember her brother was paying everybody, people like Luol, no offense. Luol Deng had this large ass contract. It was like Mozgov. Everybody was taking all this money. And he was in charge and he was like, dog, what are you doing? Who are you giving this money to? And they literally the family wanted to sell the business. Jeannie fought to keep it publicly in front of everybody. And it was her fault, I'm sure. She had to fight her brother in front of everybody to get the franchise. And look what happened. Some people just aren't made for owning. They like the idea of owning stuff and they don't know what it really means and what it takes. And Jeannie, nobody gives her any props. Everybody talking about LeBron and the Lakers and Kobe. Nobody talks about that woman did what she sacrificed. She lost her damn family.
We fuck with Jeannie. We got love for Jeannie. First female owner to win a chip.
Facts. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is shit right now. Let me move to an area. I live in the hills. Y'all gotta forgive me. And every time I'm somewhere, it's always bad. So you gotta forgive me.
Because you got that Teddy Riley Wi-Fi. Your shit blacking out.
It'll be better now. It'll be better now.
So, being a female. But let's go there because we just talked about the female. Being a female in a male-dominated game, right? Mm-hmm. And commentating, and every night I see you around these guys, testosterone, big muscles. Mm-hmm. What is that like being in that environment, representing a female's perspective? And is it a million times harder being a female breaking through those boundaries?
Yeah, it's hard. What do you want me to tell you the truth with like an after?
No, I want the truth. This the big show, man. This the real shit. Like what was it like coming up and getting to where you at?
So I started off on First Take, right? That's where most people saw me. That's the first show. And people were like, oh, First Take was with Skip Bayless. You like Skip? You like Skip and Stephen A?
No, I don't know Skip. I know Stephen A. Yes.
Okay, so that was
say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I am about to. I don't mind.
I'm a journalist now, Mama. I'm a journalist. I'm for everybody. I want to hear that shit though, cause I know when I'm thinking about you, I'm like I know she went through some shit. I know she went through some shit. There's no way you just. I know you went through something.
So my first year at ESPN was probably the hardest year of my career, period, because I came out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere. And please, let me know if you can hear me or if I'm breaking up, because I want you to hear what I'm about to say, because this shit is crazy.
I can hear you.
I came out of nowhere in the sense of I was working at the Tennis Channel, right? I wasn't working on a big platform like ESPN. I was at the Tennis Channel, and it was very small fry. So I get this show, and I get to work with the biggest and the best in the business. I'm sitting in between Skip and Stephen A, right? And it was literally like the middle seat. Do you remember you couldn't fly first class or private? You got to be in the middle seat, and you turn to your left and you turn to your right, and you just uncomfortable as fuck no matter what. That's what it was like, right? Like I was just always uncomfortable. I couldn't find my voice. I didn't feel comfortable. They didn't know me. They didn't know me. And I was a rook, and I'm okay with all that, right? Because you have to be a rookie in this business. Everybody got to haze you. Everybody has to treat you differently. But the problem is that when the people that you work with day in and day out are hazing you, other people don't know the difference, and then you immediately get a reputation for someone who doesn't have an opinion, who doesn't know what she's saying. Not only was I a woman, I was a black woman, and not only was I a black woman, I wasn't looking like unapologetic. I was like, y'all about to see legs, y'all about to see me cute. I don't give a damn. I'm fine, and I know it, and I don't care. And I don't think a lot of people wanted to see that. Like a lot of women, especially when I got into business, went out of their way to pretend like they weren't attractive and wear pantsuits. And I'm like, you can be both. Like you don't have to be smart.
But is that before Me Too movement, Harvey Weinstein? They were dressing up with suits because I would take it a beautiful woman like you are getting chased down the halls. You working with 95% men. And definitely now I'm sure they're giving courses at the Subway sandwich shop how not to talk to your coworkers. So now they got like courses. But I mean, back in the day, I think women were like, they must have felt really, really uncomfortable working in those environments.
Women felt uncomfortable working in those environments, but how come? It was just as simple as this. Yes, it was. The problem was they hired a lot of folks who were athletes who then would take that athlete mentality into a business environment. They was acting like they was in the locker room. Those are the people who got in trouble, right? Those folks who like, I remember legitimately them telling people, you're not in the locker room no more. You can't be talking like this in the hallways. You can't be talking like this in front of other people. Like you just can't get away with that. We don't do that no more. But the thing is that I was always the belief of like, I could do both. Like I could be pretty and smart. I don't have to downplay what I look like to tell you something. That's on you. Like what I'm saying, like a dude can be fine as fuck and talk sports and it's okay. Like what if I felt some type of way towards him? You know, my point is that I felt like we were always punished if you looked a certain way. It's not like that as much anymore, but I was, you know, before me it was Robin Roberts, Sage Steele was there before me. I came when Jamel Hill was there. Jamel and I now have a show together. Jamel was always the homie. She always, you know, because she was more comfortable with that. That was who she was. She was the homie. So with men. And so they felt some type of way when I walked in the room and I was dressed however I dressed. Now, I'm sure I brought some of that on myself. I'm sure if my heels were lower and if my skirt was longer and I wouldn't have to deal with, but I'm like, why I got to do that? I can be all that. I can be all those things. You can't tell me I'm not. And I remember you remember, we're about to talk some shit here. Y'all remember one of the biggest things that changed at ESPN was when Ray Rice, that video came out of him hitting his wife. You remember that?
He punched in the elevator some shit and dragged her.
Yeah, he
that
punched
was
her.
Disgusting.
He punched her and dragged her in the elevator. Yeah, he punched her. And no one wanted to talk about it. Like everybody was like, yo, we can't talk about it because that's Ray Rice. Now, mind you, it was 90% men on TV, 95% men who were on television. And they were left to talk about men beating up on their women. Now, how's that going to work, right? That's an uncomfortable topic for anybody, let alone somebody who, quote unquote, respects Ray Rice, thought he was this, didn't want to talk about it. Maybe they felt like I'm up here telling, I'm going against bro code, whatever it could have been. So you got all these men explaining domestic violence. And then whenever women, i.e. me, sitting in between Skip and Stephen A. Smith, try to say something, I was shut down. When I tell you by social media, people was like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're always trying to bring a black man down, this, that, and the other. You don't know. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But I'm like, but what about the black woman who he beat? I don't care that she went back with him. That's on them. But we do have to create some kind of rules for men who get in trouble for these things. However, there are all kind of nuances that go to this. But that was one of the first times I realized that men weren't fucking with women in sports in a way like, just shut up and be pretty. Or shut up and just read the question. Shut up and get in and out of the room. Don't try to give us your opinion because then nobody asked. People still don't care. You know what I mean? Until you finally say, nah, fuck that. You about to be uncomfortable.
You know where I seen some of that at? When Hillary Clinton went for president, right? They had like they went into like Pennsylvania, the coal mine towns and all that, and they interviewed women,
Yeah.
and women were saying, "I would never vote for a woman. I need my leader to be a man. I don't want
Yep.
to hear nothing about a woman. I know what a woman." And I was just watching. I was like, "Damn! Like this is women talking about." And listen, my brother Rich played semi-pro football for so many years. Coach Rich, y'all all know. And I would go there, and the guys who played with him, their wives, were more violent than the football players. They're all fuck. They're going crazy on the sideline. I'm looking like, yo, these women like, and those are the women that watch ESPN after Sunday night football. So they're
Sure.
not trying to hear no type of sensitive shit. They're like, yo, we want to know what it is. But the truth is, I might love Ray Rice. It might be somebody I love. If I see a video of a man punching a woman in the face, dragging her out the thing, he's fucked up. That it is spade to spade. It is what it is.
It is what it is, but let me tell you, it wasn't that way. And that wasn't that long ago. That was what, 2013, 14? Fools couldn't say he was wrong then, and when you did, it became a controversy. People got in trouble. And then when people tried to speak up and say it wasn't right, or we should have more women in sports talk about it, what they found was that the women weren't equipped to do it because they didn't feel like they had the go ahead to do it. Like they could be like, Cari, do you want to be interviewed? But behind the scenes, they looking at me like, you know better. Don't say some shit. Don't say nothing controversial. How you gonna ask it? Then you look around, you want women to say one or two things, but they already know they can't speak. You know how many people be at work bringing half themselves? I said, look, so how many people right now right now in an entanglement? You fucked up. Like you in an uncomfortable ass situation at work, and you know you want to say something, and you know you want to be real, but you know that if you do say something and you do be real, that can cost you your job. Like somebody said a minute ago, be careful, Cari, don't get fired. I don't work for ESPN no more. Nobody gonna fire me. I'm employed very, very graciously. That was one of the main reasons why I left ESPN. They would sit up there and dangle all that money in front of your face and tell you that you could be Monday through Friday and you could be the biggest sports star, but they wouldn't let you have an opinion. I got tired of being paid to shut up. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you know they do that in hip hop with the DJs. The DJs used to break all the music. Now the DJ is just a human computer. So they give them a list and they tell them you could only play these songs. So the DJ really ain't the DJ no more, to where they used to break music and play the new shit and you hear it. Now it's like, yo, play the same records we're playing. We just want a human doing it. You know, and that shit is crazy. like
It's in every industry though, right? If you ask anybody, it's in every industry, right? You just feel like you do have, by the way, let's not be silly. You do have to compromise. Like you do have to play the game to get to a certain level so you can do what you want to do. Like I know that. But after you put in some time, you expect to have a
But
little leeway.
was guys coming at you? Was executives coming at you like, yo, you beautiful? You know, if you do this and that, you could really grow. You could blow up. Was they doing that shit there? Because they do it in hip hop. Was they doing that there?
Executives don't do it, especially not to black women so much. You might get it on with a blonde. You know who would do that to us? That we found out it would be like the former athletes that be in the building. You know, that are just out starting out as analysts, or it would be. I mean, they all try you. It just depends how they go about it, right? It's like, are they gonna ask? They're gonna try to jump in your DMs? Are they gonna ask you to come to dinner and talk about work? Are they gonna pretend like they want to?
What's the right? So Jalen is married with homegirl, right?
Yeah.
So at what point is you crossing the line talking to a colleague, or at what point is it you're beautiful? If you don't have a man, I can holler at you, or is it just like at any point they smile too much? It's like I'm feeling uncomfortable.
It's not like that at all. Let me tell you. So to be honest, it's not like that at all. I think they put that pressure probably on interns, and they probably put that pressure on PAs, like people whose voices don't necessarily matter right away. Right? I think for me, it would always be like somebody was married and they'd be like, what you doing? You'd be like, I'm good. I'm all set. And they'd be like, but for real, are you? And they still try you until you say, and then you're like, no, I'm serious. I'm all set. Right now, if the person is single and you single, holla. Like you're allowed to do that in the workplace. If you didn't feel, if I'm in the Tom and Tom is fine and he's trying to holler at me, all right, then what's up, Tom? I'm making up something. But it wasn't that you're smiling too much at me. You make me uncomfortable. I mean, I will be honest with you. When Me Too movement came out, me and Jay talked about this, and this is what we said. This is so funny. She was like, we so constantly harassed, we don't even know we've been harassed. People have been talking about, oh, that happened. You're like, wait, is that harassment? Was he not supposed to do that? Oh, I didn't even know that. You know? So what I'm saying is that if someone is two single adults can go out and date, like Jalen and Molly, they dated before she even worked there. That's consensual. That's a whole nother deal. They fell in love. Great. We've had a lot of our colleagues on air get married. But when I tell you no more than once, and that's harassment. Or when you feel like you can't say no, right? Because sexual harassment is about power. So who has the power? So if I'm working with somebody who I think could mess up my career if I don't go out on a date with them, then that's sexual harassment. I ain't got the power. I don't feel the power to say no. I don't.
You know, I have female employees, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I say hi, and I'll go to my office. Like that's about it. I can't even joke. I don't do none of that shit. Now I'm keeping it real. I'm like, I am a boss, and I barely can tell you everybody's name. I'm keeping it real. Equal opportunity. I tell a woman just like I tell the guys, yo, I want you to be a boss. I want you to blow up. I want you to win. But about jokes and shit like that, I don't get into no jokes, no nothing. Because it's that type of environment. So my thing is like.
But you know what though? I do believe there are women. Like I work with one woman who lied on somebody and she made a whole ass scandal about it at ESPN. So there are women who do that. Like that's real. I just think that common sense at the end of the day prevails. Like, look, if you married and you asking this woman out, not even if you married, if the woman say no, then that's it. You got to roll. Don't keep asking her. It's just that simple to me. Like you can flirt with somebody and you can tell when they're uncomfortable. If she giving you that energy back,
You must have never lived in the New York block and walked to the bodega.
Oh, well, no.
Oh my God.
But I will tell you this though. That's that shit. That's why it's so confusing now, right? When I'm like, damn, I'm fine. I'm like, everybody trying to holler in New York. All right, then feed me. I'm all like,
let me tell you, my wife used to go get her hair done all the time at this place for years. And every time she went to the parking lot, this old Spanish man would holler at her all the time, like, Mommy, Colombia, this. One day he ain't holler at her. She came home. She said, I must be falling off. I'm like, what? She said, the old man ain't holler at me at the garage.
No. But let me tell you something. That's so different. Like, cause if I'm walking down the street, yeah, all right, I need to know I'm fine. I don't need you to chase me down and pin me up against the wall. But it's like, you can be like, yo, you looking good. I'm like, thank you, you too. Look, I get it. Like, women want attention. It's that unwanted attention is where it gets uncomfortable. And in the workspace, if you want to play it safe, don't even fool like that. If you think she feeling you and she like, cause I'm a flirt, I might be flirting. You see me flirting, then give me back some energy too. But like the reality is that when you work with people and they know they got more power than you, because that's all it's about. Sexual harassment is about power. So if you the boss with the power, Joe, you went at them, then they know. But when they feel like they're putting their power on you, because men be knowing. Like they be knowing they got the power. Them executives know.
They've been doing this a long time. They've been like, it's been disgusting. Let's go back to the Bronx, the bodegas. I've always thought it was disgusting when I saw a single parent mom come in the bodega and the man giving her free little bread and milk, trying to like, all that shit disgusting to me. You know what I'm saying? Where they trip because they got power, so they think they could. Yeah. I've never liked that even before I was even a boss or anything like that. I just thought it was whack. Like, I mean, if you bag a girl, then bag a girl the right way. Like,
That's what I was gonna say. So let me ask you a question. You know, back in the day, if you knew a girl wasn't feeling you, how hard are you gonna press before you feel like you made her uncomfortable? Have you ever been like, oh man, she ain't feeling me, I'm out?
well, I'm different because I've always been a confident guy, and um, and if I ever went for it, then most likely she wouldn't say no, or you know, it would just be no, and I gotta go. I got a funny story for you. There's a DJ out of Connecticut,
Right.
Craig G, but he was from the Bronx. Me and him look alike. And for some reason, back when I was a teenager and all that, I used to go to these clubs and I would holler at a girl and she'd be like, damn, man, didn't I tell you no already?
Damn.
And she'd be walking and like 10 minutes later, I would see Craig G in the club and he looks just like me. And I'm like, damn, we both hollered at the same girl. That shit crazy, man. But yeah, you know, it's different, man. I've seen guys, not in a not in a Me Too way, but I've seen guys harass a girl to death. Like, you know, like keep going at them, like it's their lifetime mission.
Yeah, but I it's not your fault. Let me tell you. Okay, so I got to be nuanced, and it's crazy because you can't be nuanced sometimes in these environments. It used to be acceptable for women to go to work to find a husband. Back in the day, secretary would marry her boss in a minute. You meet parents like, oh, my mom and dad met when she worked for him when he was a doctor and she was his secretary, or well, oh, they met when he my mom. That was very common back in the day. Probably before our time and then not culturally relevant for us, but that was common. So that atmosphere was perpetuated because it was only men working. And then so you ease women into these environments and they're not just doing the menial stuff. They're not being secretaries. And then you move them into situations where they quote unquote have equality and they make just as much as you and they work it on the same level as you are. The behavior is learned and there's nothing wrong with it. And then too, you have this Me Too movement, which I think in some cases was a bit much, but it also tried to eradicate behavior that had been happening for decades. And you can't do it overnight. Right. So that's like you trying to unlearn some behavior that you've known from how you grew up. And you're like, wait, that's what we do. And then when somebody tells you it's wrong, okay, then you accept it. And then you say, that's not right. Now move on. But it was so in sports, there are no women. There are books written about that place, especially at ESPN. Like it was common. It was known. I mean, some of the people that you think are the greatest ever on air would be like, oh no, he a pervert, step to the left. You would go in knowing if you got to interview somebody, you got to prepare yourself because it's going to be some bullshit. Or if you got to walk in the locker room, you got to, oh man, this motherfucker. Like, you got to know you about to walk in that locker room. You about to meet 30 hungry Negroes and they ain't ate in years. And you about to be the first piece of meat they seen forever. And you got to handle that. And you got to be like, that's just what it is. Because that's
They had the one girl, real pretty girl doing the bubble. She was in the bubble. I don't know her name, the announcer.
Yeah.
I bet my life
Yeah.
that she was a hot topic in that bubble. I mean, respectfully, but these dudes.
Not even respectfully. My homeboy told me, who was in the bubble, he was like, when the girls would come up on the screen, the players be like, hey, you know her? What's up with that one? Like, it would be like a game. They'd be like, your homeboy know her? Like, it was like, what you hear? Literally, they had shit else to do, but look at these bad bitches on TV, excuse my French, and then go in their way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I know. Them boys, there's a lot of guys in there. There was a lot of guys in there. They couldn't leave that bubble. So a beautiful female, respectfully, they was like, that must have been fucking gladiator school.
And by the way, and sometimes they probably weren't not even referring to the women on air. They probably saw the waitresses start looking fine. When I used to work. I was in Bristol, Connecticut, and the people in Bristol, Connecticut were always like, you work with a bunch of people. It's like if you've been there, it's like a world. And so if you only work there Monday through Friday, you start going out on the weekends, and you be going to these little tiny bars, and it be carpet on the floors, and you be looking around you. Anybody start to look fine. Like, damn, I guess he fine. Like,
Yo, you know what's crazy is I just realized I've been me too'd. I didn't notice. Like, I was locked up for like 4 months, and there was this lady CO. She was like, let's just say she wasn't my style at all in the universe. And she would come every day and be like, hi, Joey, how's my Joey? I'd be like,
oh yeah,
bitch, please. Like, I'm in my mind, you don't get the fuck up away from me. Like, she looked like Throw Mama off the train, goddammit. I'm like, yo, if you don't fuck, like, I'm Joe Crack. Like, if you don't, like, in my head, I was, hi, like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, I know about that shit.
no, men have
She had the power, though.
She had the power, and that's why she did that. Don't think if she didn't have the power, she wouldn't have came at you like that.
Never.
Never.
She would have never came at me. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there, my man in the cell was like, y'all said, my man, I'm doing 4 months. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's Throw Mama Off the Train. You remember that old school movie, Throw Mama Off the Train? I'm like, yo, my man, that's Throw Mama Off the Train. You got me fucked up.
See, but that's what I'm. She did that to you because she knew you, and you were like, hi. How'd you feel about that? You were just being nice. Why do you feel like you had to?
Oh, no, she was coming every day with the hi, Joey. I told my family about you. I'm like, in my head, like, cause you know when it's similar like when you land in the airplane, the stewardess, they always say, hi, have a great day, have a blessed day with a smile. You be wondering if they really like, fuck you, fat motherfucker, get the fuck up out of it. Like, they can't really tell me how you really feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me how you really feel. Like, unbelievable. Let's talk Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Dak yesterday hurt himself. The man, do you think the Cowboys will acknowledge that he went all out and they'll give him the max contract now, even though he got hurt? Or business is business?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question because we've been talking about it all night. Like, all of us, we were on a group, a lot of us, a couple of friends who worked the game, talked about it was really painful because you know his background, you know he's been a solid dude, but because he's a good guy, does he deserve to get paid? Is he worth the money? Those are two different things, right?
Those are two different things. And if you asking for loyalty from those guys, the owners, I don't know. I've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, I'm telling my brother, he's a Dallas fan, and he's like, yo, they supposed to keep it real with him. I said, keep it real. They don't give a fuck. They ain't keeping it real. Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody else come along that play just as good as him or even better, they gone. They on to the next.
And trust me, that's what they're going to be looking for. Like, if they know that this season is a wash with Andy Dalton as they backup, they're going to see how long it works because he's not taking over. But if they know the season is a wash and then there's nobody good coming down the pipe, or there's nobody else that they could trade for, because I can count on my hand 5 to 10 solid quarterbacks. There are no great backups. To me, Foles is arguably the best backup, but he's streaky. You got to catch him when he's ready. He could win you a Super Bowl, or you could run your season in the ground. So for Dak, they should have paid him. I hate that this happened to him because he should have got paid. And he bet on himself, so I respect that. And he is a great person. You'll hear nothing horrible about this dude. He's a company man. Y'all want him to do what he needs to do. He does all that. But does that mean that?
I don't think he's going to win the chip. I just think he's like eye candy.
Yeah,
I think Dak is like every commercial, most popular. They like the look. He's good enough. Like, so you know how some people win to lose? Like, they cool with losing the chip. They're
Right.
cool with getting close enough. You know what I mean? Like, you need that killer. Man, I don't think he got that. I'm keeping it real. My brother's the biggest Dallas fan in the world. I don't think he got that.
Here's what happens though. Isn't it weird how he took over for Tony Romo and Tony Romo didn't even come back? Did you think Tony Romo was a better quarterback than him?
You don't want me to do this because they're gonna kill me, man. I don't rate both of them like on that level. Like on that level, like of greatness. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes, cold as ice. He played against, what? Mahomes? I'm right? I'm saying it right? My daughter's
Mahomes.
trying to correct me. So
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, he
Okay.
no, he's incredible, right? But the year that he lost against Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's supposed to be, football ain't my thing, but like I tell you, I'm a bandwagon guy. You know,
Right.
at the end of the year, I'm Tom Brady. Like,
Right.
I know who to bet on, right? So they got that last game, Super Bowl. I was in Dubai watching this. We was up. It was a weird time of night. And then I seen Patrick Mahomes go toe-to-toe with him, and it went up. And then I said to myself, I said, I've been calling Tom Brady the Michael Jordan of football. And even though it was only like a minute and a half left, I was like, if he's the Michael Jordan of football, this man will come back and win this shit. And he came back and won this shit. But now I got a theory of no matter who you are, when you're young, even Michael Jordan had to lose to become a champion. When you're young, no matter what, you're not going to win it straight out when you're young. You have to lose and feel that pain so you can come back and win. But because I saw how Patrick went up against the greatest of all time, I said, oh, no, this motherfucker, he the real deal. He going to come back. He going to win. And he did it. I don't see that in Dak Prescott or Tony Romo. I don't.
You know what Patrick also has? Because he's so athletic, he's extremely athletic, right? That's just in his DNA. Remember, his dad played professional baseball. He's an athlete through and through. But his mindset is killer. Like, and what you don't see in some of these other guys that separates them from everyone else is their ability to have amnesia. Like the greats have amnesia. Tom Brady got amnesia. Like he messed up the other day. He thought he was on. He thought he had one more down. He didn't. You think that's gonna happen again? He gonna forget that he was embarrassed and humiliated. And today you saw him tweet out LeBron with the four fingers because he knew he had messed up. I was like, touche, Tom. You knew you. But he's a great and he has amnesia. But that will inspire him to be better. I think Dak is learning that. And this injury, this season-ending injury, will determine how mentally great he is and if he can come back. He's on the cusp, but listen, I thought him and Tony Romo were both serviceable. I thought Dak had better flashes and he was younger, but at the end of the day, like I felt like they should have paid him. I felt because of all the stuff he does for that organization. If you want to be one of these people that just take care of your people, they should have paid him. But I don't think he'll get paid. That's the long and the short of the answer. I didn't think he ain't getting his money.
Your answer, this is the Joper moment. We call this Joper because I'm Joper Winfrey. This is something they never heard before. You say he ain't getting the bag.
He's not. Not for Jerry Jones is one of those guys that likes to pay you because he wants to take care of his guys, but he ends up paying the wrong guys. He has a long history of paying the wrong players. He'll give a whole, look, I ain't mad at Zeke. Give me my money. But Zeke held out. I'm gonna go down to Cancun and work out. I'm not coming back. Y'all saw what I did. Feed me when I come back, but I'm not playing with y'all right now. And he held out no matter how difficult it was.
Such a brutal sport. I knew a professional football player, right? I won't go too into detail, but one of the greatest college players of all time. He was my neighbor. And he told me, admittingly, the first game he had in the NFL, he got hit so fucking hard, he wanted to quit. The first time he got hit, he wanted to quit. and he wound up having an injury his first season. He never came back. So he was guaranteed because he was like a Heisman winner. But he told me, yo, I just quit. Like he said he got hit one time. And he was like, oh, because, you know, he's coming out of college with all his hype, all his this and this and that. He said, boom. He said, oh, no. He said, and you see Barkley, tremendous player over here at the Giants. He's hurt again.
He can't stay healthy. He's and by the way, he's great. He's great. Here's my thing. I wish they pay him. I want them to pay Dak because that to me would be the right thing to do. But like I just said, the history of that organization in general, the Cowboys, they ain't got no get right in them forever. They just about to get right, and then they don't have no get right. You know what I mean? They're
gonna pay Barkley. They're gonna pay him.
And they paid Romo, and Andrew Luck got paid and left. Like,
no, I'm saying Saquon, Giants will pay him.
Yes, they will, because he's unbelievable. He's
unbelievable. He's a killer.
He's a superstar. I think the Giants have made. I know they wanted to clean house. I think they made a lot of mistakes, but like we'll see how it all works out because no one knew what the hell was going on in that locker room. But this one, he's a keeper, and he's one of those good guys, right? He makes everybody feel good.
All I can say to you is I don't know nothing about football, but I do know who suck, the Giants and the Miami Dolphins. I live in Miami. I'm from New York. I've never watched a Dolphin game where they won, and I've been down here for 15 years. Anytime I try to look at the TV, they getting their ass whipped. Every time I look at the Giants, they getting their ass whipped. Like, I know who's getting their ass whipped.
So the NFC East, in my opinion, without even just thinking about Miami, but the NFC East is always a disaster, right? It just is, whether it's the Washington football team or the Cowboys or the Giants or the Eagles. There's just always something going on. You'd be like, what the? Like,
So now who's the source, right? So is it Belichick, or is it Tom Brady? They finally part ways.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Tom Brady's the greatest. So who's winning that little I'ma show you this year, you should have stood with us, or who's got the upper hand?
Well, I think they both wanted to part ways. I think they already knew. You know, they don't, because they don't pay nobody. You know, the Patriots don't pay you, and they get rid of you when they find out they don't have any value for you. But I will tell you,
what I'm saying is, like, all right, so they part ways. So they won all these chips together. Tom Brady looks like he's the greatest. Belichick's the greatest coach. You know, somewhere in the middle, egotistically, they saying, I'm going to show you.
Mm-hmm. Belichick.
So who's winning that battle right now?
Right now, Belichick, in the sense of, I'm going to tell you why. They got rid of Tom Brady, and everybody's like, this is a disaster. Okay, you get Cam. Okay, cool. Nobody. Cam gets sick. Not his fault, whatever. Goes down, got COVID, can't play. They put in and not even an adequate backup in Brian Hoyer. They go to play your boy, who you think is the greatest, Patrick Mahomes, and we like, want to be a blowout. It's going to look horrible. And Brian Hoyer in, Cam out. They going to play the greatest. They going to play oh, man, this is crazy. The first 2 quarters of that game looked competitive, and it was only because what Belichick does is take some dudes off the streets that we really don't know, put them in a certain system, and make them play for their damn life, and they look amazing. You'd be like, wait, who is that? I never seen him before. Where'd he come from? How many times when you used to watch Tom Brady win the Super Bowl and he'd have some random running back that you never heard of who was a superstar for like a week on the cover of Sports Illustrated and he just disappeared? I could name so many people who were superstars who won MVP of the Super Bowl game and you ain't never heard of them again. That's what Belichick's system does. He takes players who can learn his system and they are good, but they're not superstars. Like, he makes the case to never pay nobody. And so I feel like mentally, even though you should always get paid, but I feel like mentally.
So it's the system. He's what you're explaining to me is he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. It's basically.
Well, I think so, but everybody thinks he cheats, so whatever. You know what I mean? But like somebody just wrote Wes Walker. Where the hell is he? Ain't nobody heard of him forever. Like, I go down the list of people. Now, Tom Brady to me will make other players look great too. He, like, the other day, he made Mike Evans look great. Like Mike Evans has been having a serviceable year as a wideout, but like now he's with Tom Brady, we really don't get to see him do some special stuff. However, Tom doesn't have the same arm strength. He can't make those crazy cuts like he used to, so he's got to be careful. Gronk is
Man, I saw him one day. I was stuck on a plane coming from LA to New York. And when I tell you, bro, I don't know football like that, but if this guy ain't look like God in that game, it was one game he came all the way back. I think it was like the playoffs, the Super Bowl, something. And he was single-handed. I think he was killing these dudes like single-handedly. Like Tom Brady is the truth. He's the truth.
Oh,
he is.
They were name a better duo in football. I can't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they couldn't work it out. I hate stuff like that. Like, I hate that. Like, I think everybody should get paid. Like, I swear to God, if you win it, you're a team and you're going to make billions of dollars and you're going to pay them. I mean, I know actors who was on TV shows and the TV show's #1. And when they get to the year where they're supposed to get that $10 million an episode, they'll kill them off.
That's crazy.
Like, yo, come on, man. This is like scumbag shit.
No, they should have paid him. He always took less, and that's what he got fed up with. He always took less so that they could win and put me around all these guys who I make look better than what they really are, and y'all don't want to pay me my money. And I mean, that was a bad breakup. Everybody's quiet about it, but Tom is hurt, and so I'm sure. And Bill probably frustrated as hell working with people. Not to say Cam is fine. Cam is great, actually, and I think this will be a good system for him. But I bet you they both miss each other. You ever break up with somebody and be like, damn.
Yeah. Next year, do you see Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie? Do you see them emerging now, the beast of the East?
Listen, I'm about to say something that people don't want to hear. I think Brooklyn is going to be amazing. I think KD is a beast. I think it's a beast. What will not work if they don't get their minds right? Do you know what I'm saying about that? Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. I just don't know if they'll win the chip. I know KD, shout out Finesse. KD is probably the best. I mean, besides LeBron, he's the best. 7-footer with a handle, shoot, do whatever.
But they
no
could.
question. And Kyrie, he's clutch. And the Brooklyn team is already good.
But they could come out of the East. They just got to get their mind right. They could.
I think they'll come out of the East. But I also think, and remember Joe told you, I think Miami Heat makes a trade with Bam for the Greek the Freak next year. He comes down here with Hero, Butler, and all those guys, and Greek the Freak will be down here.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, say that again?
I'm saying that Miami Heat will make some sort of a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're going to get rid of Bam. He's in the play and somebody else, but they're going to keep their core team like the young boys, the Nunn, the Hero, the Jimmy Butler, and they're going to have Greek the Freak. I think that's going to happen in Miami.
So they got to give away for years to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're giving away #1 picks for years. They're giving away what they giving away?
Yeah, but he got to go. He's going to go anyway. So whether they make a play for him or he waits out an extra year, he's gone. He's not staying in Milwaukee for his whole career. He's not doing that.
How do you know that?
It's just Joe cracked the dawn. What you want me to tell you? It's conspiracy Joe, okay?
But I'm asked because I've met him a few times, and even talking to him just in passing, he's very mild. He's very subdued. And I wonder if Miami would be too much for him. That's the only reason why I say that. I was like, how do you know he would want to even be there? But if all he cares about is winning, obviously, because that's all that matters at the end of the day, yeah. That would be a powerhouse. But it would be interesting to see if he chose, what if he chose another place? What if he was like, let me go to Denver, let me go to the West, let me go to Denver, right?
Denver's a hell of a team.
hell of a team, and they got people to give away too. Or if he
Yeah, they're good.
said, what if I want to go play in Philly with Doc? Because I think he's a great coach. You think they would fit on the roster? I'm just saying, there's a lot of places.
He could go to a lot of places. He definitely, but I watch. I got a good feeling, Pat Riley. I think they're gonna make a move.
I love Pat. Pat can do no wrong. Right? That's impressive. If Pat was able
He
to make
could
that
dance
happen,
too. He could dance. I've been at some parties with Pat Riley. He was doing it. Like he's been taught. He's been to enough hood parties, Pat Riley, believe it or not, to where he got the moves. Like you know,
like Robert. He like Robert Kraft. He run around here just be moving. You be like, why? How Robert Kraft out here dancing? No, let me tell you something. Pat is one of my favorites. He used to be, the girls used to have a crush on Pat. They was like, he's the sexiest coach alive. Like Pat the man, like all day, every day.
And
that's
he
why.
danced like that.
Yeah,
like
he does.
No, he danced. I seen him dance with his wife a couple of parties in Miami Heat, and he was sex symbol Pat. He was doing the bamba on that. He got it. Listen, Cari, thank you for coming on the Big Show. We love you. Thank you for everything you do.
Pat Joe, you didn't even talk about my Lakers.
I did, but why are they your Lakers?
First of all,
break that down to me. How did you become a Laker fan?
First of all, I love how you hit me with the fingers because you was just like, let's get into this.
No, we gotta be. I mean, I just want to know since when are you a Laker fan?
Born and raised in LA. I'm from here. My mother, 95 years old, grew up in Magnolia, Arkansas. That's where she played basketball, segregated basketball. Moved the family to California. Used to take the bus to go see the Lakers at the Great Western Forum because she couldn't drive. Nobody would go with her except for me. I sit on her lap and take the bus to watch the Lakers play in nosebleeds because we couldn't afford nothing else. And she explained the game to me. I've been a Laker fan since I was born because I didn't have a choice. And it just so happens that I end up doing sports and working in a world where I can meet some of the greats that actually narrated her life and helped her love basketball as much as she has. I've been a Laker fan my entire life. This is not brand new.
So who did you want to meet most out of all? Was it Kareem? Was it Kobe? Was it Shaq?
It was Magic when I was
Magic.
like, Magic was the first, right? And then, but for me, like Magic was who my grandmother loved. So the best moment in my life is when I was able to introduce my grandmother to Magic and they could talk. Like that was like a full circle moment for me. But for me, my time growing up living here in LA, Kobe was he was the man for those 20 years. So when I got to meet Kobe and interview Kobe, that was like, it was a whole nother world. It was a whole nother world.
Let me tell you, I went to a lot of games. I didn't know Kobe like that, but I went to a lot of games, especially when he was destroying us, scoring 80 points and shit like that against the Knicks. But I went to a lot of games. I saw Kobe on the court. He always went like that. But the one thing I got with Kobe, I'm walking. We performed. We opened up, me and Remy with Khaled for Beyonce. She did the big Rose Bowl or something out there. So we performed, and we was on our way out, and a black truck pulls up. It's driving down the driveway, and the window's open, and it's Kobe. And I'm like, oh shit. Now his wife taps him, and like pretty much his wife, I'm not even gonna lie, on some Latina shit.
Yep.
Grabbed him like, yo, like,
yeah,
yo, the Don is calling you, like, we got to get out this fucking car. Not real talk. Yeah. So he jumps out, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I was groupied out. It's Kobe Bryant. I'm not gonna lie, he's one of the special ones, right? So I'm like, yo, Kobe, and he's taller than me, and I'm like, yo, can we take a picture? Like, that's the corniest shit. Like, you know how many pictures I missed out on not doing the corny shit? But I hit him with the, yo, Cole, could we take the picture? She was like, yo. She started talking to me in Spanish, like the Latino shit. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So, and then it was just nothing but love, man. And I was so glad
Yeah.
that I had taken that pick, and I met Kobe. You know, Kobe he's so special. I'll give you my Kobe moment, right? I'm coming up in the building in Jersey. You got to park the car. My man lived in the building. You got to park the car, parking lot. You got to go to the lobby and then cross over to another elevator. When I go in the lobby, there's like 30 people in the lobby looking around a little ass TV like this, black and white TV. Chinese people, white people, everybody. There's a large variety, right? Everybody's in the lobby. Then you got a security guy in the front, the guard, he got a little TV. And everybody said, yo, hey, hey. And then, so the Lakers are down 2, right? So something happened where Kobe was on defense and he hits the ball and it hits the other team player's leg.
Right.
When he hit his leg and it rolled out, everybody went, oh, oh. Everybody was so mad. They were so, pissed, you know. The point I'm making is they were down 2 with like maybe 3 seconds left, and everybody knew it was game over when the Lakers was getting the ball. Sure enough, Kobe came, he curled around the 3-point line and shot a 3 in their face and won the game.
Bruce, we out. Yeah, Mamba out. I love it. I love it.
Mamba out, man. He was cold as ice. Now that I got you, the last question being that you held me on, I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question. Who are your top 5 rappers of all time?
Okay, so when you just said 2 things, let me just give everybody a story at home. When you said Vanessa tapped him like, this is a Don, get out the damn car, respect, because everybody knows that. Like, that's real. So I love that she did that, and you deserve that respect, and you deserve that love. Not just like in the Latin community, but just for the culture, period. So I love that. So that's love for you, you know. And when you said you want to be on the show, I was like, no questions asked. That's childhood. That's history. Like I can tell you how you narrated my life and what I shouldn't been doing, listening to some shit that you was like, what you have for me. You know what I mean? So thank you for having me on, first and foremost. That's what I want to say. You deserve all your roses while you are alive. You should know that.
Thank you so much for coming on, but I need to hear your top 5 rappers, dead or alive.
Okay, so you about to, you know, I'm a West Coast girl, so I'm gonna go down. I gotta go down the West Coast world. I grew up when NWA was just coming out, and we thought we was in trouble listening to them, you know. And when Eazy-E died, we was like, everybody got AIDS. It's horrible. The Lord, you know what I mean? So Tupac, I'm gonna give him. I'm not gonna put him in no order. I can't do top 5. I'm just giving you 5. Is that okay? I got Tupac. I got Snoop. I got Cube. I obviously have Jay-Z.
I didn't hear that one. Jay-Z,
obviously. You know what I mean? You
Okay.
And I have more than you have to. And listen, if I say it's a fight at the very end between you and Biggie, what you gonna do? Are you gonna keep me on?
No, I don't want you to say Fat Joe. I should have started with other than Fat Joe.
Okay,
I'm
Biggie.
not on this shit. Like,
Okay.
I want to hear you. You know what they so Biggie Smalls is Biggie Smalls.
Biggie,
Jay-Z, Snoop, Ice Cube, and Pop.
For me, that's all my.
That's a mean 5.
That's a mean 5, ain't it? But look how I grew up. That's how I grew up. Like, that's all I ever listened. I got a Tupac story for your ass. You didn't ask for it, but you about to get it. I was 18.
Yo, let me get it, baby. Let's go. This is a Joker moment, baby.
Look, 18.
Let's go.
19 years old. I maybe 18, maybe kissing 18, just for the story purposes. And there used to be a place called I don't know if it was Ed DeBevick's or it was this Beverly Hills joint that everybody used to hang out with at night. You just go there at night. It was like a Black Happy Days. Robert something Parker, I forget the name of it. Somebody might know it, but it was back in the day. And I'm walking in and we see Tupac, me and my friends. Everybody else is 21 and older. Like I said, I ain't old enough, but I got a fake ID. And he's supposed to be having this dope ass barbecue this weekend. Everybody is talking about this. this barbecue. Everybody's saying this barbecue's is shit. So we gonna walk up to Pac and ask, can we get directions or whatever to this motherfucking barbecue? Pac walks in, and I walk up to him, no lie, and I'm all like, hi, we hear about this barbecue you having in Ladera. Do you know if we can go? Me and my friend. I'm like, I'm innocent. I'm so innocent. I mean, I'm truly innocent. And he's like, he looking at me like, yeah, you can come. Looking at me like, if I can make it through the door, right, you got to pass a certain test. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I want to come. Yo, now, mind you, I am really just excited just to be talking to Tupac. This fool, beeper. This is how old the story is. He had a beeper. He goes, here go my beeper number. I'm going to give you mine. This is a real story.
Next day, here's my beeper number.
I'm going to give you mine. Because it wasn't like that. Like, it was just, he walking around, it wasn't like how it is now. You would never just be caught there walking around the streets, just chilling and no security. And like, it was just crazy how it was. I don't even know why the situation was this, but the reality is this. This is no lie. No fucking lie. The next day, I get a beep. I get a page on my beeper, and there are, you know how you put a hyphen and you put your code after when you beep somebody. Do you remember that back in the day? So it would be like
remember beepers.
Yeah, so it was like 222, which let me know it was Tupac. So my friend calls back. He says it's Pac. He goes, "What y'all doing tonight?" Then my home, like, but I tell you, I'm the corniest of cornies. No matter how real I am, I'm corny. And I'm like, we're just all hanging out. We're about to go to the movies. You want to come? And he was like, no, that's sweet. so then he goes, I'm gonna come hang out with you and your homegirls. So we were at my homegirl's house. When I tell you Tupac came like 20 minutes later, hung out with me and my homegirls. He ended up being the nicest dude. We were all nervous because we was like, might be some craziness that's gonna go down. He was so nice. He came by himself. It was 3 of us, and he sat and talked to us for a good hour about music. He was like, I was just trying to find some cool people because I don't trust nobody. Everybody in LA, all these girls, y'all saw this, you know, talking about the LA girls or whatever. He sat and talked to us about music, and how he went to school for this and how he just loves what he's doing. And he about to be, and people think he's so misunderstood. I'm 18 years old. I don't know. I really don't get that I'm getting this moment. Like, it was a moment for me.
It's a Joker moment. You just congratulations. You just made a Joker moment. You was hanging out with Pac, and Pac wasn't looking at you sexually
at all, because first of all, he probably knew I was a child. But the second thing was that he really thought we were cool because of how we approached. And while we were sitting there chilling and talking to him, we had questions. It wasn't on no groupie shit either. It was like, oh, because my homegirl, I remember like it was yesterday, she went to Cal State Northridge, and she was like, you know, I'm going to school for music. And he was like, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to do this. Like, it was special. And for me to realize that he wouldn't be alive until, like, by the time I had graduated from college, he was going to be gone on his way to death. Like, that was a moment for me. Not many people can say they hung out.
And then was that a moment that if you weren't who you are, anybody would believe you? Like, it is like, would you telling people 2 weeks later, yo, Tupac came to Cheryl's house and chilled with us, they was calling you a liar? Like, they wouldn't believe it?
I've never had, but you know what? Now that you say that, people probably don't, but I have never, ever had. I remember, I've told that story my entire life. I've had friends who will be like, one of my friends, a local radio dude here, he told that story like years ago before I even got on ESPN. He was like, my girl Cari got a dope Tupac story. But you have to realize, growing up in LA, that's not unheard of. You walk into the store and you see so many people. Like, it's not, I remember my mom taking me to the movies, and OJ Simpson was in a movie with a white blonde lady, and my mom left because they were making too much noise. Like, she was like, that OJ Simpson man is just too loud. That's just LA. I promise I'm not making that up. That's just how it is. When you grow up here, especially back in the day, you drive somewhere and you be like, oh yeah, there go so-and-so. Oh yeah, that is so-and-so. You know that. You've been here. People just like New York. People just be moving.
New York is like that now too. Trust me, I know it. Anyway.
I was great. Thank you for telling me that and having conversation with me. So
hey, yo.
I'm at Pop.
No,
take that.
I'm just saying.
I didn't even know I had that moment. I gave it to you.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm looking at cribs, a new crib in New York to buy, and before I could even buy it, they tell me The person next door, I know the person next door who lives there. The person across the street, the person down the block, the person this, the person that. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, everybody lives on the same block.
Tell me.
And I'm like,
Who?
Jesus
Who?
Christ.
Tell us who lives there. Let's have a moment.
No, I mean, more executive type people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that I can't do that. I can't blow them up like that. But listen, what I'm saying to you is, this shit is crazy. So I'm like, yo, I guess all the blacks and Latinos get rich and they move on this one block, right? Because everybody lives next door. Everybody, I'm like, and I swear to God, I'm the type of person, nobody comes to my house. I feel so bad for them because they probably thinking like, yo, he gonna throw parties, the whole Bronx will be in his crib. I really don't bring people to my house like that.
Yeah,
So
you
I'm
like
like,
I'm on
man,
set.
they probably like, there goes the neighborhood. Like, yo, about to fuck this shit up. Like, and I'm like, trust me, I'm not the guy to bring people over here.
Yeah, we good. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
I think when people don't realize, I don't know. I think when you have been around something all your life, it doesn't affect you the way they think it's gonna affect you. Does that make sense? Like you probably you know everybody. You've been around everybody.
Yeah, I know
Like
everybody.
why they gotta be at your house all the time?
Yeah, I'm different, right? I'm a guy that I talk to everyone and I'm nice to everyone. If you come to me with that good energy, I will always show you love.
Same.
But in my house, I really don't bring people in my house.
No.
And I never really, historically, this is the first time ever, I'll be living by neighbors that I know. I've lived here for 15 years. I can't tell you who lives in the left, the right, across the street. I don't talk to nobody.
I'm with you.
I
Because
just walk
nobody
quietly.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't talk to nobody where I live. I don't. But for some reason, I moved into the popping neighborhood or whatever. I don't know. Let's do it like that. Thank you so much for checking in
Thank
with the
you.
Big Show. We
Thank you so
love
much.
you.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet. I love you too. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Bye, you
Bye-bye,
guys.
mama. Wow. And you don't know who I know. You don't know who I know. You don't know who I know. And so, the woman come on here and talk that Tupac shit. She come on here talking that ESPN, woman empowerment. You don't know who I know. Kenny Burns. Kenny Burns. Bro Parrish. You guys are all in journalism. Media. Do you know? Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Fans of the Fat Joe Show. Do you know how hard it is to come on here every single night for 7 months straight with a new A-list artist, actor, artist? It's crazy. It's impossible. Even I'm telling you, it's starting to get impossible. And I don't want to harass my same friends over and over, so I try to bring different people. It's unbelievable. Yes, Ro, consistency is key. This is the big show. Yo, Kenny Burns, it's impossible. Shout out Cohen Body. My man who made it from hustling, got locked up, came home, made a gym in the Lower East Side called Cohen Body. And who knew how many white people in gentrified want to learn the jail routines? And so he hired 47 people that were in jail to train the people, and none of them have went back to jail. This is unbelievable. This shit's crazy. What do you want me to do? And like us Latinos would say about Cari, she is muy caliente. Muy caliente. I have never seen my brother Lord Finesse with so many eyes. You know, the looking. He had the eyes on there. I didn't even want to play. I see your Finesse, man. I don't even want to look at you with that. You're doing too much right now, Finesse. You know, you're living legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, them eyes was out there too much, man. Kenny Burns. Yeah, I'm just saying, Kenny. Yo, Mayor, what's up? I'm saying, what do you want me to do? And so I work hard. I work hard to bring you entertainment, to get you through this bullshit time, bro. This is some bullshit. And now it's not even a battle of evil and good. Now it's a battle of, do you believe 210,000 people died of COVID? Or you gonna go to the club in Atlanta? Because, let me tell you something, Kenny Byrne. The shit they doing in Atlanta, it's like Miami Memorial Weekend every fucking day. I'm looking on that Instagram. They is straight up rampack in the club, no mask, wilding. And I say to myself, I had to call Dre from Cool and Dre, the second executive producer of the show. I say, are we playing ourselves staying home and wearing masks? Because everybody acting like it's popping. New York, New Jersey, Barcode, Camilo there every night, 1,000 people. And I'm still rolling around like this. Now, I know, Kenny, they doing that, not you, but I'm wondering if we stupid or something. They know something we don't. Trump just gave a rally right now with about 10,000 white people with no mask on. Hey, Butler, what's up, my brother? Hey, Butler, one day we got to come on here and talk about money earned in Mount Vernon. I watched the documentary on Nina Simone, and it was just so powerful and impactful. And the new thing I've been learning, I've been watching like Quincy and all the living legends, life stories on documentaries. Just maybe I could learn something and it could guide me, you know, through the next phase of my life and the next future, whether it's journalism, whether it's whatever, you know. And so she was incredible, Nina Simone, and you know, her life, you know, it was so painful, but she was putting it down for the people, you know, and so it was like, it was a thing. Are you gonna go commercial? Are you gonna sell out? Carnegie Hall wants you, or are you gonna speak about the people? And sometimes when we speak about the people and we go hard, it affects you in your pocket. And we all know that when you have no money, y'all, Kenny Smith on the checking, baby. Yo, Kenny, you seen Cari on here, man. You know what it is. Yo, Kenny. Yo, Kelly, it's safe to say, Kenny, you've gone fishing. You've gone fishing. Erica Ford, she always pops up at key moments. She said, tell me about it. And it's real. And sometimes you choose the route to stand by the side of the people. And unfortunately, financially, you get hurt. And so we got Ro Parrish in the building. We got Kenny Smith in the building. We got Cari just left, Cari champion. I mean, sports is on, they're on a roll today. Y'all, let me tell you something. Michael Rapaport was up here venting. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Jay. You know, yeah, Jay, you're a scumbag. Yeah, you know what my brother Jay says? He said, Joe, because I've had these arguments. Like, yo, Jay, I think I want to go radical. I think fuck Fat Joe, fuck What's Love, lean back. I'm ready to go radical. He says, Joe, there's a reason why they used to call those guys the poor righteous teachers. Listen. Listen. Kenny Smith said he ain't sports, he's hip hop. Yo, Kenny, we love you, left, right. We know all that. We know your brother, Coach Nori. Know what I'm saying? We know all that. But you hear what Dre said. Dre said, yo, Joe, there's a reason why they used to call that group the poor righteous teachers. I agree, Erica. It has to be strategic about it. How you do it. You know, but you get the message out there. Yeah, Jets. Yo, Kenny, you sports and hip hop. You the whole culture, Ken. You the whole culture. And it's crazy, Erica. You know why? I'm gonna leave it on this note. Every Saturday I do New Music Saturday, where I take a bunch of young kids, whoever they are, who rap, who don't have another platform, and I light it up, and I just pick random people, and they come on here and they go for what they know. And last week I asked myself on here, I said, now is any other rapper that's on my status will be doing this? Cause somebody I really love told me, yo, Joe, it's kind of corny what you doing on Saturdays. And the minute I asked that, Erica popped out, Angela Rye popped out, Ari Melba popped out. All these people who I value their opinion and treasure their opinion, shout out to Kobe Cole, just popped up out of nowhere. I never knew they was even on that. Nah, Joe, you're doing the right thing. Nah, Joe, you did the right thing, Joe. You know, yo, Joe, you know, and it's like, I said to myself, I said, yo, you know what? The people whose opinion matter and that I respect popped out so fast. It was like, Joe, give these kids inspiration. Give them a chance. So anyway, y'all, go vote. Love you guys. Tomorrow night, Revolt TV, 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow night, we got a hell of a show. Some of the Lakers. Tomorrow night, some of the defending champions. And we have Benny the Butcher coming by. Griselda Posse. Oh, no, it's lit. All week, we ain't going to stop. We are not going to stop. We are going to keep telling you inspiring, compelling stories of people who faced adversity and came back like you won't believe. Ro Parrish, peace. Mayor, peace. Billy Blanc, I love you. Stay up, put God first. Always put God first. Peace, y'all.